Hey guys, how you been? I'm here again bringing you another episode of the saga, The Father of BEERUS. If you haven't seen the last video, come back to the channel and watch it because I guarantee you will like it, and then come back to watch this video. Guys, videos like this take a lot of work, and you know that, so having said all that, I hope you leave a lot of likes and comment if you want the continuation of this story. With all that done, grab your popcorn and coke and let's see this amazing story. In the last episode, we discovered the history of the first god of destruction, BEERMUR, and that he is also the father of BEERUS. We also discovered that he was responsible for the death of the family and the planet of BEERUS. After the catastrophic event, BEERMUR was gone. No one knew the reason but Whis. BEERUS, because of the grudge he held against his father, never had any interest in finding out what had happened to his father. But after a slight discussion between Whis and BEERUS, the god of destruction would be close to discovering his father's true origin and why he disappeared. Will our dear god of destruction forgive his father for what he did? That's what we're going to find out now, so settle back in your chair as we are going to continue the story. Whis and BEERUS looked at each other seriously as they were watched by Vegeta and Goku, who were worried, but also quite curious to know the history of BEERUS' father. The Saiyan waiting for Whis to tell the story anxiously. The angel then looks at the Saiyan and smiles, saying, "It's remarkable that you want to hear a lot, so I'll tell you," Whis said, smiling. BEERUS says irritably, "You guys are too nosy. I don't see anything interesting coming from that guy for you to be interested about him. My father is a destroyer of lives and a terrible father," said BEERUS, quite furious, leaving Goku a little distressed. Vegeta then arrogantly says, "I thought the work of the gods of destruction was to destroy the planets. Apparently that's all you guys are for, isn't it?" Needled, Vegeta irritated, but BEERUS was reaching the limit of his patience. Whis then interferes, giving a slight cough to ease the situation, and in a friendly way he says, "Calm down, Mr. BEERUS. You better than anyone should know how these two love a story to get into trouble. I think I better tell you before they piss you off even more, don't you?" Whis said, looking at BEERUS, who simply sighs and nods in agreement while containing his anger. Goku then gets too excited and says, "Finally, seeing you two facing each other was already annoying. Tell me soon," said Goku, excited when he notices BEERUS' angry face and soon realizes he has said a lot of nonsense. Vegeta, almost out of patience, says, "Stop stalling, just say it," said Vegeta rudely. Whis then gives a slight cough and sitting in a chair says, "Please gentlemen, sit down as the story may be a little long for you," Whis said as his friends sat around him. Whis then continues saying, "Well, millennia ago I was continuing Mr. BEERMUR's training, and I realized that he had reached an incredible level of power, something that until today I have never seen in a mere mortal. He was obviously more powerful than all the gods of destruction that existed. They were enormously jealous of BEERMUR's power, and for that they hated him," said Whis, who stopped when he saw Goku restless with his curiosity. Goku then says, "Let me guess, the gods came together to defeat BEERMUR?" asked a euphoric Goku. Vegeta, irritated by the fact that Goku interrupted Whis, the Prince of Saiyans, then says, "Let him continue the story," exclaimed Vegeta furiously while Goku was quiet. Whis then continued the story. BEERMUR was not easily intimidated by the threats of the gods. Once one of them came personally to face him in a fight to the death. The fight was not balanced. One hour BEERUS hit, and at another time his opponent was beaten. The god had his life spared by Mr. BEERMUR because he knew that if he left that god alive, it would hurt his ego to the point that he begged for death," said Whis, leaving Goku and Vegeta speechless due to BEERMUR's power level. Even listening to all this, BEERUS doesn't show any surprise or interest towards his father, and the Saiyans realize that. Whis then decides to continue his story by saying, "One day, a meeting of angels was held without my presence, but I learned through Vados what they had said that day. The angels wanted to get rid of BEERMUR once and for all, because they were afraid of what he would be able to do, but they couldn't kill him due to our father's laws, in addition to the fact that BEERMUR possessed an absurd knowledge of magic that not even angels had," said Whis. Vegeta, after briefly analyzing the story, says, "All this because some powerful beings were jealous of a similar one? This is somehow nostalgic for me," Vegeta commented with a slight smile. Goku sees Vegeta commenting on the situation and says, "When it's me interrupting the story, you complain, right?" said Goku indignantly. BEERUS gets angry and says, "Shut up, you two. Keep listening to Whis," said BEERUS, stressed and slightly furious. Whis then continues the story by saying, "The angels then came to a conclusion. BEERMUR would be cast out into the void world." Whis said, surprising even BEERUS, who was amazed at that. BEERUS, amazed, then says, "But wait a minute, only 4 beings were expelled to the empty world. It's not possible that my father was a threat to that point," said BEERUS, grinding his teeth. Goku then asks, "What's in the void? I remember we fought there some time ago. But is there anything else there?" questioned Goku, intrigued. Whis then calmly replies, "After the creation of some universes, 4 angels rebelled against Daishinkan-sama. The universes of these angels were then destroyed, and the angels were banished to a place where they existed longer than Zeno-sama himself. The place is full of powerful and unimaginable creatures. The 4 angels, as much as they were trapped, they got stronger there, and thus became the 4 strongest archangels in the whole empty world," Whis explained. BEERUS, who was already more than curious about the matter, asks, "So there are creatures in the void that are capable of being stronger than me?" questioned BEERUS, worried and slightly distressed. Whis then says, "Yes, even a miserable creature in that immensity can be work for the entire universe we know today. The archangels are savage and fierce. They've been fighting each other for millennia, and I wonder what must have happened when BEERMUR arrived at that location," asked Whis, slightly worried. Goku gets serious and asks, looking into Whis' eyes, "Is it possible that BEERUS' father is still alive?" asked Goku, while everyone looked at Whis thoughtfully. Whis starts to reflect a little and says, "Yes, it's possible, yes. I don't think that Lord BEERMUR would be defeated so easily in these millennia," Whis said confidently. Goku then says excitedly, "Then we can rescue him somehow," suggested Goku, excited, while BEERUS still seemed to want to listen to Whis' story a little more. BEERUS then, looking at Whis, asked, "Why did my father blow up my planet?" questioned BEERUS, generating a tense atmosphere around. Whis quickly replies, "I don't know, but I believe it was not for nothing," Whis said, disappointing BEERUS. Vegeta then questions, "Should we really do something to find out the truth?" Vegeta asks seriously. BEERUS, in a grumpy manner, then asks, "What's the use? If he's still alive, he must have gotten used to it a long time ago," said BEERUS. A day goes by after the party at Bulma's house. The Saiyans Goku and Vegeta are sitting on their plane near their houses while having a drink. Goku and Vegeta were thinking about the conversation they had with BEERUS and Whis last night, and were discussing about what they could do about it. Vegeta thought it best to leave the story behind because it would be better for everyone, and especially for BEERUS. Goku disagreed because he wanted to solve this anguish of BEERUS once and for all, and somehow rescue the ancient god of destruction. Vegeta looked with his penetrating gaze at Goku, who was scared to see that look from Vegeta. The Prince of Saiyans then calmly said, "BEERUS doesn't want to solve this. If he wanted, he and Whis would have already solved it themselves. Let's leave things as they are. My relationship with my father wasn't the best, and there was no way I could change anything that happened," said Vegeta, lowering his head and closing his eyes. Goku then gets confused and says, "You're right, you couldn't change anything, but BEERUS can, and that choice unfortunately is his, and all we can do is wait," said Goku after a long sigh. Vegeta then says, "If by chance BEERUS changes his mind, he won't want to solve this alone. I think it's difficult for him to involve us in this, so don't worry about the situation," said Vegeta, and then taking a sip of his drink. Goku then decides to ask, "Vegeta, would you save your father if you had the chance?" questioned Goku with a slight curiosity. Vegeta spends a few moments thinking and he replies, "Knowing everything I know about him, no, other than the fact that he wouldn't want his son to change his fate. His end is the result of his choices, whether they are good or not," said Vegeta, leaving Goku thoughtful about what he had just said. Goku then gives a side smile and says, "I wish I had the chance to meet my father. I keep thinking to myself if he would be proud of what I've become and what I've done in life." "Don't you think so, Vegeta?" questioned Goku, looking into Vegeta's eyes. Vegeta then replies, "Yes, I think about it sometimes. When I look at my son, I'm quite proud of what he became and did in life. But I think my father would only feel one thing, envy," said Vegeta, leaving Goku a little sad. Goku then says, "Yes, our children are our greatest pride. I think that's all that matters. Don't you agree?" questioned Goku. Vegeta, giving a slight smile, replies, "Yes, you're absolutely right about that part," answered Vegeta while smiling with Goku watching the sunset. On the planet of BEERUS. Elsewhere, BEERUS was lying on his bed wearing his classic pajamas. He was watching the ceiling, and he was thinking about his father, a subject he never liked or even wanted to think about. BEERUS reflected and asked himself what would be the reason that made his father, the ancient god of destruction, exterminate his own race. Now that BEERUS knows the chance of BEERMUR being alive is high, He thought it would be worth saving him to find out the answers that he's looking for so much, but BEERUS only knows that he can have a huge disappointment, since there is such a probability. BEERUS then gets out of bed in his pajamas and decides to leave his comforts, and together with Whis, they go to the planet Earth to talk about what they could do. BEERUS then arrives on planet Earth with Whis, who is still confused as to what BEERUS is going to do, until the God of Destruction notices Goku and Vegeta sitting in the grass and walks over to them in a very hurried fashion. BEERUS then shouts, "Get up! I need to talk to you!" exclaimed BEERUS, scaring Goku and Vegeta. Goku, surprised to see BEERUS, says, "BEERUS, why are you here?" questioned Goku, trying to understand. BEERUS growls and says, "I changed my mind. I want help from you two to enter that empty world and go to where my father is," exclaimed BEERUS, impressing everyone around him. Goku is so perplexed that he can't answer, so Vegeta takes the lead, saying, "If you didn't want to see your father before, why would you want to now?" asked Vegeta suspiciously. BEERUS then replies, "I have matters to resolve personally with my father. If I don't like it, I'll send him back to the void," said BEERUS with a confident look. Suspicious, Vegeta says, "For those who didn't want to see their father even painted in gold, you really want to see him," said Vegeta, staring at BEERUS. Curious, Goku then questions, "How would you throw your father back into that empty world if you don't even know how we are going to get there?" questioned Goku, intrigued. Whis then butts in on the conversation, saying, "I know the spell that opens the portal to emptiness, and I also know the spell to close it," said Whis, leaving Goku quite impressed with that. Vegeta then asks BEERUS, "What are you not telling us?" "I still think this is too fishy for my taste," Vegeta grumbled angrily, staring at BEERUS. BEERUS then gets stressed and says, "The business with my father is just between me and him. I need both of you. Only you two can help me with this," said BEERUS, grinding his teeth. Vegeta, still mumbling, asks, "And why do you need both of us? You could go on your own, since that's your business, or even send another warrior on it," questioned Vegeta. BEERUS then decides to explain, "I can't go on that mission. Whis and I have to stay here. Don't worry, we'll protect Earth from anything." "But what about that?" asked BEERUS, while Goku and Vegeta looked at each other thoughtfully. Goku then suggests, "We should have a little more time to think before making a final decision. I think that would be the most sensible idea," said Goku, leaving Vegeta impressed due to Goku's right choice. BEERUS responds by saying, "We don't have time. We have to decide this fast. If the angels find out about our ruse, we could be in serious danger. We could be erased from all existence," said BEERUS, stressed, rushing the decision of Goku and Vegeta. Goku looks at Vegeta and says, "I'll leave that decision to Vegeta. Whatever he decides, I'll accept," said Goku seriously. Whis then looks at Vegeta thoughtfully and says, "What will be your verdict, Mr. Vegeta?" questioned Whis, while everyone faced Vegeta's final decision. Vegeta then let out a sigh and says, "When we get back, you will make me the most powerful, understand?" BEERUS, trying to hide a relieved smile, replies that Goku will be jealous of Vegeta when you finish training with me. Goku gets excited and asks, "Oh yeah? What are we waiting for then?" Whis interrupts and says, "It's not that simple, Mr. Goku. This spell to open the portal needs a special energy that is present in some items spread across the universes, with a total of 5 items. Vegeta, without much ado, asks what the items are and what universes they are in, and Whis replies, "Well, Sir Vegeta, a trunk of a type of tree that is the only one present on the planet Makuse. This item is here in our Universe 7. In Universe 6 there is an animal that has very good meat, but in addition we can also drain its energy and use it. This is called, by Mr. Champa, the Glengar monster." Goku raises his hands and asks, "So since only Vegeta and I are going after these items, isn't it better to go after these 2 now and then the next ones?" Whis thinks for a second and replies, "Okay, but they can't take too long. I'm going to take them to the places, and when they go to other universes they must be quick, so as not to arouse suspicion in Universe 6. We can negotiate, but the others will have a problem." Vegeta says that he is going to Universe 6, but Goku says that he is going because he also wants to know that universe. Vegeta tells him to shut up and says, "Now is not the time to be getting these frills. Like Whis said, we can't take too long." Goku lowers his head and says, "Okay, let's go." First, Whis takes Goku to the planet Makuse and wishes him good luck. In a few seconds he returns to Earth and then leaves with Vegeta for Universe 6. BEERUS sees them going in the distance and talks to himself, wondering if it's really worth risking so much of his universe just to get an answer from his father. But he shakes his head and tells himself to shut up, because those are answers he's wanted for a long time, over 1,000 years. On the planet Makuse, within Universe 7, Goku is in the sun observing the landscape. Despite the planet looking like a giant forest composed only of trees, almost all the same, and a huge river, he realizes that beneath that water there is a city. Even though he is interested in knowing if there are powerful beings on the planet with whom he can befriend and fight, he remains focused on getting the tree trunk, and he ends up finding the tree that refuses to leave the ground because it's stuck, so that not even using his hand, Super Saiyan 3 form, he can pull it off. Goku lets go of the tree and concentrates. Then his body turns red and his aura too. Knowing that this can cause considerable damage, he rushes toward the tree. But before Goku touches it, he is hit by a blast of energy. Goku's question was answered, and yes, there were warriors on that planet. In Universe 6, the universe of Mr. Champa. In Universe 6, Whis negotiates with Vados and Champa, both of whom will be able to visit Earth in search of delicious food if Champa doesn't cause problems. The god of the 6th universe accepts the deal and allows Vegeta to enter, so Whis takes him to the planet where the monster lives. Whis points to the place and says he needs him alive. Vegeta looks and there is an animal, and he already notices the presence of the strangers, and is going there. When he looks back, Vegeta does not see Whis, as Whis was returning to Earth. Vegeta raises his ki as the animal approaches, displaying its shiny horns. However, when it approaches the Saiyan, the animal does not show any aggression. On the contrary, the animal is tame, and it's as if he wanted Vegeta to pet him. Vegeta is embarrassed because he thought he would have to fight, and when Vegeta is relaxed and goes to pick up the creature to call Whis to return to his house, the animal grows up and shows why it is called a monster. Vegeta quickly flies up to the monster and holds the Saiyan by the horns, which are now huge, but Vegeta gets up and throws the creature back to the ground. Returning to Universe 7. On Earth, Whis had looked for a place to leave the giant things, and there he sees that Vegeta has already finished and managed to capture the monster and goes to get him. On the planet Makuse, which is located within Universe 7, Goku is disappointed, as he defeated each warrior with just one flick, so he returns to using his Super Saiyan 3 form with Kaioken and makes an effort to remove the tree from the ground, while Whis appears on the spot with Vegeta, who is holding the Glenger monster. Vegeta faces Goku with a smile and says, "Are you in trouble, Kakarot?" Goku replies, "They kept appearing, and that tree wouldn't leave the ground at all, but I finally managed to get that tree off the ground." Whis then takes the two to a place he had prepared, and then leave the monster and the tree there, protected by a barrier made by Whis. Goku questions, "And now what are the next items?" Whis thinks a little and says, "I don't want to say, but now you'll have to go on this mission together." In Universe 7, there is a species that uses magic, and through fights they decide whether to help someone, and you must defeat their leader and ask for the bone, which is some bone from the skeleton of an ancient Kaioshin that possessed incredible magical powers. Vegeta said, "Is this leader strong enough to need both of us?" Confidently, Whis replies, "Yes. I heard they didn't participate in the Tournament of Power because even Jiren couldn't defeat him easily. But you're much more powerful now, and I believe you can beat them." Goku and Vegeta get excited and prepare to meet and face the leader of this mysterious species from Universe 11. Whis then quickly takes them to Jiren's universe, and the three try to enter the 11th universe without being noticed and succeed. Inside Universe 11. They slow down, and a few minutes later they arrive at a planet with pink soil, white sky, and a civilization similar to Babidi. Soon Goku and Vegeta are surprised, but Whis explains that only the appearance and the connection with magic is similar in a very summarized way. But these beings' magic is superior, and their physical strength is greater compared to the Bibidi race of Universe 7. Whis says he will wait there, and when they approach the ground, the two Saiyans are stopped by a member of the species. This one wearing armor and walking with a sword on his back. "Hello, I'm Tras, and who are you?" he says, looking suspiciously at Goku and Vegeta, especially Vegeta. "Hi, I'm Goku. My name is Vegeta, and that big head over there is Kakarot. We need you to take us to your leader," says Vegeta. Tras asks, "Oh, did you come to challenge him?" Goku replies, "Yeah, and we don't have much time here, so if you could be quick, we'd appreciate it." Tras takes them to the leader, still distrusting Vegeta for his grumpy face. They travel a long way without flying, and meanwhile the leader had already been alerted to the challenge and had an arena prepared. The entire population of the small planet was also going to watch the fight. Tras talks with Goku while Vegeta is silent. Tras makes a suggestion to the warriors of the 7th universe. If they want some advice, they better give the great Koma a fight that is amazing to watch, and fight because he likes big things for his fights. They're just like parties, and those who put up a good fight have a high chance of getting what they came for. Vegeta says, "Why did you stop?" "They're all there now," Trask says in response and takes his sword. He passes the sword on the ground, and moments the three are teleported to a large arena with a huge stand full of all the beings of the planet watching. Even the animals were there. Koma, who is the leader, had a different appearance from the others, being received by everyone with applause, fireworks, and even an orchestra. Vegeta wonders what all the fuss is about, and Goku tells him that it would be really cool if they had something like that on their planet. After an introduction by a narrator, the big fight is about to begin. Goku and Vegeta on one side, and Koma on the other. How strong will the man that even Jiren cannot face be? Goku and Vegeta look at Koma, who stares back at them. Before any attack, Koma's body is split in half, without any explanation, and while Goku and Vegeta are scared of what stands before them, the audience applauds and screams. The two halves that fell on opposite sides then begin to regenerate, and now there are two Komas that attack Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta retreat and exchange punches against the Komas. Vegeta screams and transforms into Super Saiyan 2. Soon after, he pushes Koma away and says, "Hey Kakarot, he's as strong as gas. Don't be kidding." Goku puts his arms in front in a defensive position, transforming into a Super Saiyan 2 as well, and begins to raise his ki, while continuing to exchange blows against Koma, the leader of that planet. Koma sees Vegeta move away a little, and then begins to concentrate a large amount of energy that forms a bright pink sphere and eats it. Vegeta doesn't understand at first, but after a few seconds, he extends his arm towards the Prince of Saiyans, and whispers a few words in another language. Vegeta realizes that he is using some magic and starts to run around Koma with the intention of not getting caught. But by the time he has already been caught by the opponent's magic, Vegeta starts to get tired and falls to the ground. When he looks at his arm, he notices something strange. Koma's magic made Vegeta fat. Vegeta is so tired and has lost his transformation. So Koma opens his mouth and releases the energy he had swallowed earlier. Vegeta seems to have been evaporated with so much energy, and all that's left is a hole in the ground made by his opponent's attack. Goku gets desperate and starts looking for Vegeta, then he realizes that this fight is more serious than he initially seemed. So his excited expression turns to a serious expression. Koma is about to unite again to be one person again, but it's startled by a ki blast coming from underneath him. The place was totally illuminated by Vegeta's attack. Yes, he was still alive, and he took advantage of the hole made by him to hide while recovering his energy. Vegeta comes out of the ground surrounded by a red and thin aura, but Vegeta was thinner than usual and says, "Let's start again, the right way now." The Saiyan's hair starts to move and glow with a red light, as well as his aura, and now Koma stares at him in surprise with Vegeta's transformation, but even so, Koma smiles. Goku and Koma are facing each other, but stop fighting to watch Vegeta fly in the direction, and was as fast as lightning and tries to kick Koma, but it's stopped by Koma's hands. But that doesn't stop him from hitting him because he joins his hands in a position he hasn't used for a while, and his red aura turns purple for a while, and a purple energy ball appears in his hands. "Garlic-o!" Vegeta screams, and Koma can't stop his attack with any magic, and his only option is to be hit by the attack of the Prince of Saiyans, who falls to the ground. Koma gets up and imitates Vegeta's position. The Saiyan gets mad about it, but Koma doesn't exactly use Vegeta's Garlic-o, but as he was creating something, so he undoes Vegeta's position and makes a movement with his hands, as if he were slashing something in the air and creating a wave of ki that quickly goes towards Vegeta. Vegeta tries to dodge, but his foot is hit and he realizes that that attack also carried magic, as Vegeta is teleported in front of Koma, who punches the Saiyan several times. Goku, impressed with what he was seeing, looks at Koma and says, "Hey, are we going to overcome them?" Koma number 2 agrees with the idea and asks if it's normal for their race to have so many transformations. Goku says, "Yes, the one I'm using now is pretty weak compared to the others." Koma gets even more excited and raises his ki too and says, "So please use everything you have against me." Goku prefers to leave his Ultra Instinct for a case when he really does need it, and then transforms into Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta gets up, already with injuries on his body, and transforms into Super Saiyan Blue, then opens his arms and begins to gather ki in his 2 hands. The two Koma watch, interested in what will happen, and Goku backs away a little, so as to not be hit by Vegeta's attack. Vegeta joins his arms and shouts, "Final Flash!" A ki blast is launched at Koma, who this time manages to create a shield, and Vegeta is unable to destroy it. Meanwhile, Goku advances against the other Koma, but is thrown away by a kick. Goku gets up and throws several ki balls at Koma while running toward him. Koma uses a spell that pins Goku's feet to the ground, so the Saiyan prepares a Kamehameha and launches it at Koma. Vegeta returns to his normal form and tries physical combat, but Koma is much stronger than Goku and Vegeta's base form. Koma lands a blow with the palm of his hand on Vegeta's face and begins to spin, and after a few spins, he lets go of Vegeta, and he goes flying, spitting blood from his nose. Then the two Komas disappear and Goku can't locate his ki, so he goes back to his base form and waits for him to appear. But suddenly Koma appears on top of Goku and drags him by the hair, but Goku grabs Koma's arm and makes him hit the ground. Before Koma can get up, Goku launches another Kamehameha that is interrupted when Vegeta lands on top of him. Vegeta is furious and says, "Pay attention, Kakarot." Vegeta gets up and wipes the blood on his face and with his hands, and after thinking a little, he decides to use his Ultra Ego to end the fight as soon as possible, to bring BEERUS the next necessary item to open the portal to the Void World. Vegeta gets into the key charging position, and then his eyebrows burn and become a purple flame, and his eyes turn purple, and his flames become an aura, and his purple light reflects in his hair. That is the superior ego. Vegeta says, "I still haven't trained enough with this form, but I believe it will be enough." Vegeta runs towards Koma to throw a punch, but Koma catches Vegeta's punch with one hand. However, Vegeta slides his hand and catches Koma, pulls back and slams his forehead into Koma's forehead. Koma is bewildered by the strength of the Saiyan's forehead and stumbles before falling, and Vegeta grabs him by the collar of his clothes, throws him away. Vegeta goes after him. Koma opens his eyes just before Vegeta kicks him in the face, and still with his head aching from his forehead, he cannot defend himself. Vegeta sinks Koma into the ground, but Vegeta doesn't stop and raises his arm towards Koma. Vegeta waits for him to get up and says, "Big Bang Attack." Nothing happens because Koma is not in front of Vegeta, but behind him, waiting for him to turn around. What? Vegeta looks back and Koma is twice his size and kicks Vegeta away, so Koma returns to normal. Vegeta seems to have been defeated, and Goku is not much different as Koma is waiting for him to get up, but Goku is unable to fight anymore. Both Saiyans lose their transformations, and the fight is said to be over. Koma unites again and uses his magic to heal Vegeta and Goku. When Vegeta and Goku wake up, they are in the leader's room where Whis is also present, sitting and waiting. Goku and Vegeta wake up and look around, and they see that they are in a room with Koma and Whis and some guards. Vegeta asks, sitting still on the floor, feeling unwell, "What's going on here?" Koma says, "I thank you for the fight. I had a lot of fun, and my people enjoyed the fight, so I decided to give you what you want. Tell me what you want." Koma continues, "By the way, this gentleman says he is with you," then points to Whis. Whis nods to Oni Vegeta, and Goku is still passed out. "You can," Vegeta said to Koma while his consciousness went back and forth repeatedly. "Can you give us a piece of the bone?" Vegeta is finally fully awake, and Goku starts to wake up too. "There is? Alright, come with me." Koma gets up and takes a key that floated above his throne. Goku, Vegeta, and Whis go with Koma to a room with several guards, and Koma asks them what purpose made them look for such an item. Whis, seeing that his friends were a little confused, answers it for them. "Well, as I said earlier, we are from another universe. We need some items to make a spell that will allow our god of destruction to recover from a wound inflicted by a witch." Goku starts to speak. "Hey, Whis, but..." That is interrupted by Vegeta's hand, who threatens to punch. Goku almost tells the truth to Koma, who stares at him for a few seconds, until finally the silence is broken by Koma. Koma says, "Well, I couldn't detect a lie in your words. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that you're an angel. I just ask that you don't cause us problems," said Koma, changing his expression of distrust to one of relief, and soon after placing his key in front of the wall that opens and reveals a dark room. Koma says, "Wait here. The view of the Kaioshin skeleton may be different than expected." Koma enters the room and the light turns on. He goes to a box and puts his hand on it, and with another, he pulls a small bone similar to a finger. Koma says, "What are you looking for?" Whis replies, "Yes, thank you so much. Here, thank you so much for this." Whis says thanks and brings out a large amount of cups and instant noodles, all stacked in a huge triangle. Koma says, "What is this? Cups?" Koma is surprised because he had never seen that before. "Put hot water and wait for a few moments, and it will be like this." Whis makes another glass appear, but this one is ready. He gives it to Koma and tells him to eat it. Koma hesitates a little but agrees to eat those lines of a strange material covered by water with a color that is also. At first, Koma freaks out and runs to his room, where he demands that his cooks create something like this right away. Goku runs after Koma and says goodbye, saying it was a great fight. Koma says the same and bids farewell to Vegeta, who simply nods back, but Goku tells Koma that Vegeta sure enjoyed the fight. The angel takes them all back home, and now there are 3 things, so he starts describing the last 2 items. Whis says, a green stone from the planet Urozen, that is in the Universe 2. The other is herb that grows in some parts of the moon of Universe 4. Whis says, hey Vegeta, you go to Universe 2, and Goku tries to avoid problems in that place. Goku says, I always end up in the worst situation. I'll take the risk of meeting those love-obsessed idiots. Goku says, not even Vegeta. You already chose where you're going the other time. Let me go to Universe 4 this time, please. Goku puts his hand together and kneels, almost begging. Vegeta raises his ki and says, there's only one way to decide something like this. Goku starts to sound and says, got it. So Goku starts raising his ki. Whis watches the 2 mightiest warriors in the land shrouded in their auras prepare, and Goku and Vegeta attack each other at the same time. Jo! Goku begins. Keen! Vegeta continues. Po! The 2 finish. It wasn't a ki attack. They decided to put everything into the Jokempo, and Vegeta lost. That is, Vegeta is the one who will look for the stone in Universe 2. Vegeta arrives on the planet Urozen, a place similar to a normal city on Earth full of heart ornaments everywhere, with the population celebrating the victory of the heroine Ribrianne against a giant monster that threatened the planet. Goku is on the moon with a special suit made by Whis for him to be able to breathe in space, and that place is apparently empty. Now it's up to the 2 Saiyans to get what they asked for, and it may not be as easy as it seems to get these last items, as both warriors realized they're being watched. But BEERUS is close to finding his father again. We reached the end of another video today, so for those of you who like the content of this channel, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to leave your comment, which is very important for the channel. So I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.